Gentilly neighborhood included in this. Again, you can kind of see where this is. So if you're around City Park, if you're around parts of Lakeview, then you might be, your phone may have lit up and alerting you that you're under a tornado warning. It's really just a little bit farther to the east of that general area that we're seeing the rotation at this point, off to the northeast. So this is pretty heavy rain also, so you're going to be seeing this if you probably wouldn't be able to see a tornado coming toward you if you're somewhere around, again, Downman Road, kind of around the Lakeshore Drive, kind of off to the eastern end of Lakeshore Drive, all the way toward the UNO, and even a little bit farther to the east of that general area is where this is happening right now. So again, this is going to be something that we are watching. Now, there is rotation here. We're kind of continuing our chat with the National Weather Service. It's showing up, but it's just not extremely strong. Look at this. In fact, it's really not showing up anymore. Even just a few seconds ago or a minute ago, it was really very easy to see the green with the red, which would indicate winds going toward and away from the radar site. And so we were seeing that very clearly. However, the rotation, look at this, it's really weakened a lot. So for now, let's see what the National Weather Service is saying. They're going to hold on to the warning for a little bit more, just because it's really right over, again, as I've been saying, New Orleans East, a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of people watching us from there. You may be in your home turning us on because your phone went off, and now this is what we're seeing. So if you're just joining us here on WWL, we were seeing strong rotation with this cell, and it's moving pretty fast. But now we're just seeing the rotation almost kind of dropping out. So we're still officially under the warning. We want to just make sure that it's not going to tighten up again and maybe, start to look a little bit more tornadic. But at this point, we haven't gotten any reports. This is just something that we saw on radar where there's some rotation. So stick with us for just a few more minutes. We're just going to track this as it continues moving off to the northeast. It's moving at about 15 miles per hour. And again, the good news is that, you're getting some heavy rain right now, but the rotation is starting to weaken a little bit for sure. So we will see whether the tornado warning continues and how long that happens. But again, New Orleans East, please make sure that you're in a safe spot. Certainly don't go out right now. If you have to head out, just stay put for a while. It's not going to be long, maybe another 10 minutes or so if you can spare that kind of time, because we're just seeing this moving out over the lake, and we're also seeing that rotation weakening. But again, just kind of stick with us for a little bit longer just to make sure that that is indeed what we're seeing. Again, when we look at our radar, and this is one of the products that we use, and yeah, we're still kind of seeing that not as clear as before for sure. So sometimes you can see this when these storms, start to rotate. You're starting to see the greens and the reds. We call that a couplet, when they're right next to each other and creating a very obvious space where there's rotation, but we're just seeing it sort of fall apart as far as the strong rotation goes. So let me track it back. We're starting here. I'm showing you the time lapse. This is 1 p.m. You can see very obvious where that green is right next to the red, showing the rotation. And now look what's happened over the past several minutes. It's kind of just gone away. So this is a good thing for those of you around the New Orleans East. But again, just kind of sit tight if you can, just for a little bit longer until that small part of this line continues moving off to the northeast. So again, tornado warning that's going to be going until, well, officially 1:30. But it may get dropped out a little bit earlier than that. We'll see if the National Weather Service decides to do that, because they've noted, just like we're seeing on our velocity, there's just not as much rotation anymore. So that would be a good thing. Hopefully we don't have this. You in New Orleans East may remember a few years ago where we had a significant tornado over in part of New Orleans East, and don't want to repeat that. So some of you may be kind of perking your ears up if you remember that, but we're not seeing signs. We haven't gotten any confirmation. We haven't seen any reports. This is just a rotation, area of rotation that we were seeing, and now it's actually starting to show less rotation. So that's a good thing. Again, we're just going to kind of track it really quickly. Just a few more minutes here before this continues moving out over the lake. And again, seeing the rotation situation improving there and not as much rotation anymore. So that is the main reason that we're breaking in to programming. We'll let you go as soon as we can after that warning finishes, hopefully in not too long. We also, by the way, have a couple of strong storms around Jean Lafitte and Lafitte. We've seen some heavy rain just continuing there. there. That has not really moved very much. If you're in other parts of New Orleans and saying, when is this going to end? Well, in our noon show, I was tracking the back edge of the rain, and look at this. It is continuing to push farther to the east. So spots like Mandeville and Covington, where there's a flood advisory or flood warning actually right now, an aerial flood warning, you're finally starting to see the rain really lighten up, and eventually you'll be looking at much drier conditions. Like Tangipahoa Parish now is dry, and we are seeing the rain continuing to stream over those of you around Lacombe and Slidell. Not seeing as much lightning there, interestingly. There's certainly some thunder and some lightning, but we're just not seeing quite as much as we were seeing with some of these storms earlier in the day. And there is some lightning still around Jean Lafitte. Over toward Des Allemands, we also have another shower there, but really we were seeing this line that's been progressing pretty steadily, but kind of slowly at about 10-15 miles per hour. That was at Thibodaux about an hour ago, and now you can see it's way to the east of Thibodaux. So this is going to be the trend. We're expecting the rain to come to an end probably within the next hour or two. You can see that it's been nudging east, and we'll continue with that. And that will leave us with a drier late afternoon and evening. But until then, right now, we are just continuing with what we're seeing, just still progressing across the area. Okay, guys, the National Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning for New Orleans East. So that's a good thing. If you've been joining us, thank you so much for watching and turning on your phone and turning on Channel 4, because we're going to be covering you if you have a tornado warning. But for those of you in New Orleans East, thankfully you're going to just kind of continue with some rain. The tornado warning has now been canceled, but again, you can see the rain still crossing the area. So eventually this will all push